Hey y'all, it's a sunny but windy day today, so we thought we'd just get out and walk around the property and see what we need to do with spring coming and what kind of cleanup and trimming and we need to do. But it's been a sad couple of weeks for Joe and me because we had to say goodbye to our little trooper dog.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts.
I was hoping to not cry, but...
No, you go ahead and cry. You need to go ahead and just express yourself and ask the Lord to take good care of us and watch over us in the upcoming weeks.
It's been 2 weeks, and it's still sad. But we knew he was getting older and his days were getting limited, but it still hurts.
Yes.
And Joe said he knows for a fact we can love our pets as much as we love our family members. And it hurts just as much when we lose one.
Yeah, sure does.
But we're trying not to think about the sadness. Trooper is in a better place and he's happy. He can see, he can hear, he can run and he can play. And I do believe we'll see him again.
Amen.
I do believe our pets are in heaven. But anyway, let's go for a walk.
All right.
And so, get out here in this sunshine and I see one project I need to get done already up ahead of us. And it's my bench arbor.
Yeah.
It's got so much rust on it, I need to get it cleaned off and painted.
I believe
to
I
show
can
it.
fix it.
Yeah, there it is. Joe says, I believe I can fix it. He's been wanting to take it up for a long time. But I like it. And I like it right where it's at. But it faces the sunset of the evenings. So anyway, that's one project for sure. To get that rust cleaned off, brushed off, and painted. Okay, we'll keep walking.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and die this time.
No, you said that last year and it came back out. Love it. The tree's going to bud out and make it. But that's so typical of that type of tree. You see this one's coming out too.
I agree with you, girl.
All right, so we're going to leave these two trees alone.
Look at that.
I know it's busting out, but I think that's an ash tree, and that's typical of an ash tree.
Yeah, that's Mr. Ash that you both were supposed to.
We didn't buy these trees.
No.
Someone gave them to us that were digging them up from their yard when they were. We sold a house. We used to be realtors, and we've retired from that now. But we sold a house to a couple, and it had a lot of. The former owner had planted a lot of trees in the front yard, and they just didn't want that many trees. So this was one too, and Joe cut it down last year, but we haven't cut the tree trunk down yet.
No, you leave that here as a collector's item.
So anyway, Joe got 3 trees from that former client and planted them here on our property. And I planted this blackberry bush here a couple years ago, and I need to do some trimming back on that one. grass is getting green, and we're going to have to, let's go here and look at this tree. We're going to have to start mowing, which means we need to get the mower serviced and all that. This tree Joe planted, it was a Christmas tree, one of those with the ball.
First or second year. I think it's the second year that I was here.
The second year you were here?
Yeah.
Joe built this house in 1996, so that would have been 1998. He had this Christmas tree and planted it here, but something started causing it to die. The bottom branches were dying, so Joe cut them off and they started re-sprouting. So we had hope that it was going to live, but it just seems to be,
It has improved some.
yeah, it's just dying all the way up. I see new branches coming out all the way up the trunk, so I don't know if I'm going to cut it down or leave it alone. March wind. That's the March wind for you. Hold on to that hat.
I've got it.
I've got a landscaped area here around our deck that I need to pull the weeds when it gets warmer. And these are my daffodils. They're still not blooming yet, but there's some little hyacinths coming up. I see. There's some little blooms on the daffodils. And a few little hyacinths blooming right here. We'll go on to the barn to let Skipper out. So,
Good view there.
yep. So Joe thinks his woods finishing mower that he pulls behind the tractor, that the bearings are coming out.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to find someone to repair it or buy them, and they're not cheap. So we're almost here to the barn. We'll give the horses a little extra hay, a little afternoon snack. Chore done. So now we'll keep walking.
Keep on walking.
Keep on walking. We got the cherry tree trimmed. Well, how many years ago? Was that year before last? We trimmed that cherry tree.
It's 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's done good. And then these are gourds I grew in the garden last year that's out here curing. We'll make something pretty out of those. with the way this grass is growing, honey, we're going to be mowing in the next week or two. So here's the pull behind finishing mower
Right.
that we need to get repaired.
See, I could actually have the big gearbox on top. Could be going bad. But we definitely got these smaller boxes here on the end. In other words,
Gearboxes?
You got three of them. 1, 2, 3. And you got the three boxes. It's coming up, bringing this hay up, grass up to be put away for mowing season.
Okay, and there's the John Deere that I ride and mow with.
Yeah.
So we need to get it oiled and
Yes.
check the oil in it and everything.
Yes, we did.
Okay. We'll go over here and check the garden area. And Joe has a pull-behind tiller on the tractor too. That makes it so easy to till up our garden. So as soon as it gets dry enough,
You got the view there.
he wants me to show you the view here. Down in the middle of the lower part of this field, we have several pets buried down there. Joe had a beagle when we first got married named Charlie, and he'd been abused, and his mother rescued him and brought him over to Joe, and he died from cancer. We buried him down there. And then the dog that I had before we were married was Major. He was half. Ooh, this wind. Hold on. My dog Major was half lab and half German Shepherd, and the sweetest dog ever. I wouldn't say ever. He's just the sweetest Trooper and Charlie, but they were all sweet dogs. But he died of old age, and Joe buried him down there. And then Gracie, my horse, my first horse, and she's the mother of the two that got down. She broke her leg out here in the field the same year my mother passed away in 2012. And we had to put her down. And she's buried down there. Okay, let's walk over here and check out the garden area. We've got a strawberry patch over here, and I think I probably need to buy some new strawberry plants to put in there this year, because some of them died last year with the hard freeze that came in the springtime, which I'm hoping doesn't happen again this year. But they're starting to green up, the foliage is on the strawberry plants. And this has got a lot of organic compost in it with the horses. So we've got a lot of good organic matter in there for them to grow in. And they are really big and sweet strawberries. And this is our outhouse slash garden shed. We keep all of our garden supplies in here. And here's our cow panels that we set up in the garden for things to grow and climb on. And our garden space is right here. I save my eggshells and just throw them out in the garden, so when Joe tills, it just goes into the soil. wind chimes up to keep the birds out of the garden, hopefully, but they don't pay any attention to it. So they just still look for the tomatoes when they get ripe and they want the first bite. We're going to walk back to get in the house out of this wind, but what all do you need to do for us to get ready to mow? Speak up.
Change the oil and the mower itself is going to be replaced or overhaul bearings in the engine, drivetrain.
Okay.
So that's what that'll be.
Okay. As we go in, I've got a couple of flower beds up here that I need to clean out. The rhododendron is really blooming right now and it's looking pretty. The dogwood is starting to get buds on it. Here's the holly tree, Foster holly. Has a lot of red berries on it. And here is the rhododendron that's in bloom. Isn't that pretty?
That really took off the last couple of days.
Yeah, it did. And down here is another shrub that's blooming, but it's getting some green to come back out on it. But look at these pretty blooms. They're just really waxy.
Yeah.
Waxy petals. It's such a pretty pinkish lilac color. And the dogwood is starting to get buds forming on it. Hey, you eating your hay? All right. Having our morning sunshine and a little loving. While Joe is finishing up his little barn chores in there. This is Mercy. Yeah, we've had her since she's been about 6 weeks old. And we found her in the weeds in the tree line. She'd just been weaned from her mama and she was crying and crying. And we found her. Trooper found her and helped us catch her. Yes, that's been about 3 or 4 years ago, hadn't it, Mercy? We had to feed you the little dropper with some goat's milk, and you loved it. And now you're not hurting for any nourishment at all now, are you? No, you're not. And her mama brought her sister to us and left her on the porch for us. And she had a little short tail that looked just like Mercy. But a tomcat came by one night and scared little Shorty, is what we called her because of her short tail. Scared her so bad that she ran away and never came back. We looked and looked for months for her. But Mercy's right here with us and happy as a lark, aren't you? Mercy never sits in my lap like this, but I think she senses that I'm sad because we had to say goodbye to Trooper. He moved to his heavenly home, and she's just trying to comfort me. And I appreciate it, Mercy. I do. I don't know if y'all can see her tail just wagging back here. You're a sweet one, girl. You're a sweet one. You gonna say goodbye now? Have you had enough yet? Oh, you're growling at yourself in the camera. You don't like that. I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off. I've seen posts where some of you are having carpenter bees to show up already this year. And Joe and I learned a trick on how to get rid of them. So I thought I might share it with you. They were here at our barn just eating holes in the wood like crazy for a long time, many years. And Joe would swat them with like a badminton racket and spray them with wasp spray, and nothing would deter them. We even bought the little house with the jar underneath it, where the carpenter bees go in the jar, and down in the little house there's a hole for the bee to go in the house, and they go down in the jar and they can't get out. And that worked somewhat, and we still have one of those up. But this trick I'm about to tell you about really works. It doesn't trap them, but it just sends them away. They flee, they're afraid, they won't come back. And if they do show back up, they won't stay long. And they're gone again. But what it is you make take a brown lunch sack, just a brown paper sack, and you stuff it full of the plastic shopping bags like you get at the grocery store or Walmart or somewhere, and you fill it full, and you tie it up on top with the string, and you just make it lumpy, and you hang it up high in a place where you see the carpenter bees. So what that does is the bees thinks that bag is a hornet's nest, and they hate hornets. They're afraid of them. They won't hang around if there's a hornet's nest. So just hang one of those bags up, and you'll see that those bees will be gone. Let me show you one of the bags. It's right up here at the center of our barn under that sign. And it's just hanging right up there. You hear Joe drilling. He's fixing a stall door over there. They had a piece of metal that had come loose. But there's the bag, and those hornets, or not hornets, but carpenter bees, will not come near it. Now we have another one of those bags in the back shed of our barn. So I'll take you back there and show you. It's a little larger bag, but we've used this for several years and it works. So it's cheap and it works. Can't get any better than that, can you? Okay, here it is. Here's one of the houses that we initially started with. The jar's gone off of that one. But over here in the center of this shed is the bag hanging. And it just kind of blows in the wind. But we don't see any more carpenter bees with these bags hanging up. Skipper, it's a pretty sunny day, isn't it? I can see you've been wallowing in the mud after I brushed you out this morning. Yeah. What do you have to say for yourself? The crows have returned. We have plenty around here.